The case told this time is quite famous and seems to have been discussed also in several other channels. This story is about Kelly and Jason Cochran. Who has made the covenant of love and lives together forever. Although not blessed with children, they still hold the promise of love until old age. But is that really what it is? We'll find out. But before continuing the story, if you like about crime stories, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks. Let's continue the story. We flew to the town of Merrillville, Indiana, where Jason Cochran and Kelly were neighbors since childhood, went to school together, dated, and finally after graduating high school decided to get married in 2002. A true love, because they have known each other from a young age. Until finally after getting married, Jason and Kelly opened a business cleaning the pool. So if the house or school is dirty and wants to be cleaned, usually they are both contacted to do it. Many relatives and neighbors consider Jason and Kelly to be a strange couple. They decided not to have children, but their relationship remained harmonious. Kelly is known as a noisier person, a storyteller, and very noisy. Her husband, Jason, is just the opposite. People know him as a reclusive person and choose to remain silent. Kelly and Jason are not an antisocial couple, they live neighbors very well, but Jason is more silent despite being gathered with friends. "10 years into the business of cleaning the pool, Jason began to feel tired. His back often hurts and also he suffers because of his waist. It's like he can't do this job anymore. In fact, Kelly ended up working on it herself with the help of an assistant. But Kelly couldn't have done it without her husband's help. They moved to the Michigan city of Iron River in 2013. His wife, Kelly, later worked on a water crop development effort. Jason is just at home. Sleep all day for the reason of his body's healing period. From this place of work, Kelly then met an Air Force veteran named Christopher Reagan who was 53 years old. Christopher was a widower, and he was 20 years older than Kelly. At that time Christopher also had a girlfriend, namely Terry, who worked as a teacher. But it seems that Christopher's relationship with Terry is not going well, even though they remain as happy as lovers. While Kelly and Christopher became very close and friends, Christopher was also a planned subscription where Kelly worked. Kelly didn't even hesitate to introduce Christopher to her husband, Jason. It seems like Kelly wants to show her husband that she is very open and their true love will remain burning forever without being disturbed by others. On October 24, 2014, Jason and Kelly invited Christopher to dinner at their home. Of course Christopher felt this was a good thing. Have new friends in a new place, because Christopher previously lived in Detroit. And the dinner was pretty fun. But it seems that this excitement is enough to get there for Christopher, because after that there is no more news from him. For 10 days, his girlfriend, Terry, had just reported it to Iron River Police. Both Terry and the police immediately checked Christopher's residence, which seemed very neat. Christopher's phone was not found. Both the kitchen and the workspace seemed to have never been touched for a long period of time. Even then, Christopher's car was found outside the city, apparently left more than a week there. And it was from inside the car that the police found a scribble of the map on the paper, a lead to Kelly and Jason's house. It was here that the police went to Jelen and Jason's house, when Christopher had dinner there on October 14th, but he had already returned home around 10 p.m., and afterwards did not know where he was going. There was no word from Christopher to date. While Kelly was busy answering all the police questions at the time, her husband, Jason, was just as quiet as an innocent child. But strangely, from the results of the detective investigation, it was discovered that Christopher had a special relationship with Kelly during this time. This makes the police smell something suspicious. Kelly and Jason are interrogated separately. Kelly claimed that her marriage to Jason was open married, so they could have a relationship with someone else. Kelly later said that she had a special relationship with Christopher. But a different statement was conveyed by her husband, Jason, who said that their marriage was not open married. This then led to a search of Kelly and Jason's place. Police did not find Christopher's body there. There was no evidence whatsoever, no evidence of blood marks, but there was a trace of Christopher's DNA, which of course existed because they claimed that Christopher came to dinner. In addition, the police also found a gun, and also a hammer positioned close to the table. This is a bit strange for the police, but there is no DNA of Christopher in the tool. They also find a lukewarm note, Jason, on matters related to revenge. But it seems that it is not strong to accuse them of involvement in Christopher's disappearance. Kelly and her husband are released by the police, but they feel bad and decide to return to their hometown of Indiana. Christopher Reagan was an unsolved case at the time. "16 months after Christopher's disappearance on February 20, 2016, Kelly called police at 911 and said her husband, Jason, was unconscious.
Wake County 911. This is like, well, he's breathing barely. I don't know what's wrong. He's throwing up. He's sweating. I need an ambulance right away.
And how old is the person?
37. Just get an ambulance here right now.
Okay, stay on the line with me.
I need an ambulance here right away.
Okay, they've been dispatched.
When the ambulance arrived, Kelly was hysterical that Jason had died. An interim report from his wife, Kelly, was from a heroin overdose that Jason used to help relieve his back and waist pain. After being done more deeply by the police, there are indeed several types of drugs in Jason's body, including heroin, but not in too large quantities. Even the police found that the cause of Jason's death was out of breath. Most likely he was strangled. The police confirmed that someone intentionally killed Jason. The police immediately directed his wife, Kelly. A few days after Jason was buried, Kelly moved out of town again. The police became suspicious and chased him. Police arrested Kelly in April 2016 in Kentucky. Police arrested Kelly Cochran, who this time appeared to be powerless. She received a severe threat of punishment, considering there must have been her involvement with the disappearance of Christopher Reagan in 2014. When questioned, finally Kelly admitted that during this time her marriage to her husband was very constrained by too many rules. The true love they always love is not that beautiful. Jason's initial unwilling childhood actually ruined Kelly's day, as it turned out that Kelly wanted to be a mother. In addition, Jason also makes a rule: if any of them both cheat, then the agreement is that they will kill the cheating partner. This is what happened to Christopher Reagan. Kelly claimed to be a husband. Jason never provided for her. His back and waist pain were just an excuse not to work. And only Kelly is looking for money for their needs. Kelly begins to get to know Christopher Reagan and they begin to fall in love with each other. But Kelly often quarreled with Christopher, who he said promised to leave his girlfriend. But he was not abandoned, but at the same time Kelly was also trying to leave her husband. But unfortunately Kelly continued to receive threats from her husband, Jason, until on October 14, 2012, Jason told Kelly to invite Christopher to dinner at their house. When Christopher arrived, Jason shot the back of Christopher's head until he died. To remove the traces, Jason then separated Christopher's body into pieces and disposed of it in several different places. Kelly said she was forced to help her husband because he was threatened, while some neighbors also said gunshots that night came from Kelly's residence. Afterwards Kelly also brought in the investigators to the forestry, where they disposed of Christopher's head. The results of the dental examination stated that it was true Christopher Reagan. Actually, after Jason killed Christopher that night, Kelly becomes increasingly confused, because she feels that all this time Christopher is the right person to be her future husband. That's why Kelly is planning to finish Jason off. And this only came to pass in February 2016, when after getting drunk enough with her heroin, Kelly covered Jason's nose and mouth with a cloth to make it difficult to breathe, then strangled her husband's neck that did not fight it until he died. Kelly then called the police. In January 2017, Kelly's trial was held for the murder of Christopher Reagan, although Kelly was not the one who shot Christopher, but prosecutors charged her with trapping Christopher to come to her home. The judge and jury decided on Kelly's life sentence without bail at any time. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison for helping separate Christopher's body parts plus 2.5 years for lying to police. As for the case of her husband's death, Kelly immediately admitted to the judge that she intentionally did it. In 2018, Kelly received a 65-year prison sentence for the crime against her husband, Jason. Shortly after the verdict, Kelly's sister Colton Gaboyan, as well as a neighbor, confessed to police that they had a barbecue party and also made burgers at Kelly's home after Christopher Reagan's disappearance. At the time, in charge of providing the meat were Kelly and her husband, Jason. They feel something strange about the texture and also the meat they eat, until finally the case is revealed. Both Kelly's sister and her neighbors realized that the meat they cooked and ate at the time was meat from Christopher Reagan's body. Who do you think is the most guilty in this case? Is it Kelly, who is trying to find true happiness, or is it her husband, who is very lazy and selfish? You comment below. If you like this video, do not forget to click like, share. For those of you who have stopped by for the first time or have stopped by often but have not subscribed, and also the bell button so that every time I upload a new video, you become the first person to know. Thank you and see you in another story.